Mumonkan, Case 31, Joshu investigates an old woman. A monk asked an old woman, "What is the way to Mount Wutai?" The old woman said, "Go straight on." When the monk had proceeded a few steps, she added, "Oh my, dear monk, you too go off like that?" Afterward, someone told Master Joshu about this. Joshu said, "Wait a bit. I will go and examine the old woman for you." The next day, Joshu went, asked the same question, and got exactly the same answer. On returning, Joshu said to his disciples, "I have examined the old woman for you." Mumon's comment: the old woman only knew how to sit still in her tent and plan the campaign. She did not know when she was shadowed by a grand master. Though old Joshu showed himself clever to win a battle, he displayed no trace of being a great commander. If we look at them, they both have their faults. But tell me, what did Joshu see in the old woman? Mumon's verse: the question was like the other. The answer was just the same. Sand in the rice, thorns in the mud. So let's start from the beginning. The first line: a monk asked an old woman, "What is the way to Mount Wutai?" So just as a little background, Mount Wutai is a sacred mountain in Shanxi province, China. It contains 5 peaks, and it is a known pilgrim place dedicated to the Bodhisattva Manjushri. It's over 3,000 meters high, so it's not just a small hill. It contains many monasteries. Even today, many people visit that place in China. But at the time this story took place, which is 9th century AD, it's probably likely that they didn't have many good maps at that time, or certainly no GPS or other systems in the iPhone. So that's true. But then it's still surprising, this question. A bit like if you would be in Chamonix in France and you ask, "Could you show me the way to the Mont Blanc?" Mont Blanc is right there. Where's the way to the Mont Blanc? Where's the way to Mount Wutai? It's a bit silly. Or you're in Paris near the Place Trocadero and you're asking people, "Where's the Eiffel Tower?" It's right there, right? And it's kind of a silly question then. A bit bizarre that this monk would ask this. But anyway, maybe there was a lot of fog that day. Or maybe the question was more internal, more like a Zen challenge, more like, what is the way to the holy mountain Wutai? What is the way to the holiest of holy? Maybe. That said, The old woman's response was even more bizarre. What she said is, "Go straight on." Huh. What does that mean? I remember one day leading a hike in a New York area called Cold Spring, and that was with some of my colleagues at that time, and I was the leader of the hike, and so somehow not the fastest, so some people were in front of me, constantly looking behind, saying, "Where should we go to? Where should we go to?" And as a joke I would respond, "Well, it's very easy, just follow your nose." It's a bit the same thing. Follow your nose to here, follow your nose to there, follow your nose to there. And it's the same with go straight on. What does that mean? It's always straight on, right? Wherever you go. So that answer is a little tricky. Anyway, the monk then proceeded with a few steps according to the story, and then this old woman added the sentence, "Oh my, dear monk, you too go off like that?" This kind of sounds not very good. It sounds like this woman was kind of disappointed by the monk. Sounds like her response was at a deeper level. And when then the monk acted on the superficial level, like, "Aha, straight on," that she kind of became sarcastic and disappointed. Maybe she meant there is only here and now. That is the case when you say, "Follow your nose," or "Go straight ahead." Maybe she meant Mount Wutai and all its sanctity is right within yourself. Maybe she was hoping that the monk would keep going, but would also show a small sign as if he had understood her. Maybe continuing his way with a little gesture, "Ah, yes, straight on," something like that. Indeed, our whole life we put ourselves some goals. We run to the future. We think happiness is out there, maybe on the top of Mount Wutai, or maybe during that next holiday that we are planning, or maybe this better job that we are going to try to obtain, or maybe in this new relationship or friendship, or maybe when taking this or that class, or maybe at the next meditation retreat here and there. Whatever we do, we always go right on over there, and we never realize that what matters is the here and now. I'm not saying that these things are not worth pursuing. Please go on a holiday, please have a new job, please have a new relationship or friendship. All that is fine. The only thing is, be happy while doing, and don't fixate the top of the mountain. Don't fixate the final objective. Happiness is right here and now. And you, viewing this video, you should also be aware of that. Can you take a moment, just one moment, to stop searching for Mount Wutai over there? For example, take a deep breath right here and now. And now take it again, realizing the space of awareness in which this breath comes and goes in the here and now. Or take a thought. Maybe think about this famous Mount Wutai with its 5 peaks. This image comes up in you. And then realize the space of awareness in which this thought, this image comes up suddenly. That space is in your here and now. There is nowhere to go for being that space. Take another thought a second time. Maybe this time visualize Mount Wutai again, but with some snow on the 5 peaks. See it coming before you, and then see the space that you are. And even better, be the space in which this image comes and goes. And can you now also oscillate between, on the one hand, identifying and sticking with this image and being distracted completely by it, or by viewing this thought of Mount Wutai as a puff of smoke that comes up and that goes through your presence of awareness. So let's go back to our koan. Afterwards, someone told Master Joshu about this story. And Joshu said, "Wait a bit, I will go and examine the old woman for you." Now, according to the records, Joshu was of course a well-established Zen master of that time, but he must also already have been over 80 years old. So somehow this story, he found it something remarkable, with this woman saying go straight ahead and then mocking the monks one after the other. He found that funny. He found that something fresh, something which raised his curiosity. So even though he was 80 years old, he got up and said, "Wait a minute, I want to go and check out this woman." So the next day, Master Joshu went and asked exactly the same question. "Dear lady, what is the way to Mount Wutai?" And the old woman provided him exactly the same response. "Go straight on." And then, after a few steps of going, the woman would again say exactly the same. "Oh my dear monk, you too go off like that?" So now the koan continues, the text continues. "However, on returning, Joshu said to his disciples, 'I have examined the old woman for you.' And from this conclusion that Joshu communicated to his disciples, we are left in a doubt. And this koan is a bit about this. Did he recognize wisdom in this woman and somehow subtly reciprocated this wisdom with a subtle gesture? Or did he just find a dull old lady just repeating the same trick mindlessly? So the question to you is, does that really matter? Does it matter to know whether the old lady was enlightened or just a dull person acting in repetition? Or is it enough for you, the viewer, to just know that you have understood the deeper meaning of being aware space in the here and now? koan continues. Mumon's comment. The old woman only knew how to sit in her tent and plan the campaign. She did not know when she was shadowed by a grand master like Joshu. So in this commentary by Mumon, he seems to conclude that the answer of our question that we asked before is that the lady would be just a dull person repeating things stupidly. The text continues. Though old Joshu showed himself clever to win a battle, he displayed no trace of being a great commander. Of course, if Joshu were to be trying to show off his wisdom to the lady, he would of course put himself down. So he was hiding. He was in hiding and he was pretending that he was just an ordinary monk. We continue with the koan. If we look at them, they both have their faults. What is the fault of the woman? The fault of the woman is indeed that she mechanically repeated the same little story mindlessly and not noticing that Master Joshu was visiting her. What was Joshu's fault? Joshu's fault might be that, in fact, he attached some importance to check out this woman, to check out whether she was enlightened or not. Indeed, if she was deluded, this self-fabricated delusion that she had still happens in the here and now. It's like when you have a horror movie playing on a movie screen. The screen is still a screen. And if she was enlightened, she would recognize that the screen is her true nature, not the movie. But here again, the screen is always the screen. So in both situations, it doesn't really matter whether the woman was just playing a trick or whether the woman had some wisdom. She would always still be here and now. To end, I have another koan to propose to you, the viewer. My dear companion of over 11 years, my doggy Jesse, he just passed away last Saturday. We made so many walks together. We did so many travels. We had so many adventures. So his disappearance leaves quite a vacuum behind. And my koan that I would like to suggest is Jesse now far away, somewhere on Mount Wutai, somewhere far away in doggy paradise, as some of my friends put it? Or is his presence still right here and now? Thank you for listening and have a wonderful day.